Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this MacBook Pro model A1278 early 2011. So this laptop, the screen is like completely screwed up. So hopefully I can show this, but anyways, you want to remove all the screws from the bottom. You'll use a PH0 or J0 screwdriver. The three on the back here are longer, though all the screws on this one were missing except for a few. And then the rest, you just remove their smaller, shorter screws, okay? So we'll take the cover off. You basically just pull up from the back and you can unclip. There's some little clips that are, actually this one doesn't have clips. So yeah, just pull that up and remove the cover. Alright, so we are going to be taking out the battery as well as the screen. So the battery, it comes out just like the other MacBooks. There's this little plastic thing here and you just pull that up. We'll have to remove the screws here. These use tri-wing screws, which is like a what do you call? I don't know, a 3-wing screw. Yeah, the triangle shape. Okay, so remove those 3. The longer screws here, there's a shorter one here. Okay, so take that out. To lift that up, you just pull up this tab and then you can pull the battery out. Okay, we'll set that aside. I'm going to leave the battery disconnected for now. Once you take the battery out, you want to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds just to drain any power that's left in the computer. Okay, this will prevent it from damaging any other components of the computer when you start taking things out. This is very important when you start taking out the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to do basics here, but there's the hard drive here. Alright, you'll want to use a PH0 screwdriver again. So just take out the 2 screws that are holding this plastic bracket in place. Alright, this is an old model, so I'm probably not going to do much like zooming in and stuff because not many people will see this one. But anyways, you can lift this plastic thing out. Once you do that, there's this tab here. You can lift it slightly. Once you lift it, actually I probably need to zoom in here. Okay, once you lift the tab up here, then you got the hard drive connector here. You need to pull this out. I slide my fingernail there and then kind of pull it there. So that way when you hold the hard drive out, you can take the rest of it all the way out, okay? And that's how you take the hard drive out. You can upgrade this to an SSD if you want, 2.5-inch SATA. And then you can transfer over this. It's just adhesive. You can just peel it off. Transfer over these legs. These use a, I think they're T10 screws. Let me see here. Or not T10, I think T6. Yeah, these are T6 screws. So you do need a T6 screwdriver bit to remove these. Okay, I'm just going to clean a little dust off of this, but I'm going to put it back. So again, this is just a quick tutorial. I'm going to show the hard drive and the RAM. So I'm going to put the hard drive back in, just like that. Okay. I highly recommend upgrading to an SSD. That's a lot more important than having a whole bunch of RAM. At least 4 gigs of RAM should be okay. But if you wanted to make it a little bit faster, you can put 8 gigs and it should be plenty enough for most use. Okay. So that's the hard drive. All right, now I'm going to show the RAM here. So the RAM, you just pull these plastic tabs to the side. The RAM will pop up just like that. And this is DDR3, so PC3 8500S. Sorry, that's out of view. So if you wanted to upgrade your RAM, this is DDR3, so PC3 8500S. So these are 2 gig sticks. Again, you probably want 8 gigs to have good performance. And then yeah, the bottom one, same thing. So to put it back, you just put it back at that angle like that. Let me clean this stuff out since it's kind of dusty. All right. Okay, so again, you just put the RAM back in at an angle like that. Make sure it's pushed all the way in, and then you can push it down. All right, same thing with this stick of RAM. You might want to clean off the pins if they're dirty. Just do that. Some people are like, what are you doing? But don't worry, the pins are gold. They won't have any issues with that as long as you have yourself grounded. So that way you don't get static electricity to destroy it. All right, so just do that. Some people worry about the finger, the oils are slightly acidic or something, but yeah, again, don't worry. I've never had any issues caused by that. Okay, So once you do that, we are going to have to remove all of these. These are all using small Phillips screws, okay? So this bracket you want to remove first. So this is the LCD or LVDS connector. Make sure again that you disconnected the battery and held the power button for about 15 seconds. Then you can pull up on this plastic tab. It'll get this metal bracket up, and then go towards the bottom of that metal bracket and just pull the connector back so you can get the LCD connector out just like that. Okay, and then we're going to have to remove all these other things. This screen is kind of a pain to remove, but here we go. So let's see here. We got that. All right, so down here, this little thing hook, it's held in place with 2 screws, so we have to remove that. So remove those 2 screws. You want to keep all these screws in order because all these screws are different sizes, different lengths. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we're going to take the 2 screws out from this black metal bracket. Okay, once you do that, okay, if you're wondering, the left screw is longer than the right screw, then you can pull out this metal bracket here. Okay, so do that, take that out, set that aside. Now you can actually see the hinge to the screen here. This one's probably going to be a pain to remove because the hinge is so damaged, so I don't know how I'm going to easily get that out, but we will see. All right, and then on the other side here, you got 2 screws just like the other one to get this bracket out. So take that out. All right, take out the other one as well. This one holds down this little fabric-y thing that holds the antennas in place. So just keep that in mind. Both these screws are about the same length. All right. Once you get that out, oh, I think we actually have to remove the whole speaker assembly. So what we are going to do is pop up this connector here. I just use my fingernails and pop it up like that. Okay, we are going to disconnect or remove this screw here. So we're going to take out this speaker. This speaker is completely destroyed on there, so I don't know if they want to replace it or not, but all right. So I don't know if we have to completely remove everything. I guess I'll do it anyways. Okay, so we'll take out the 2 screws holding this side. So this is actually the wireless card under here, and this cable goes to the wireless card. So I've almost never seen, I've only had to replace that wireless card one time for somebody. So if you have a problem with your wireless, there's a good chance this cable's just loose. Just push this down. It's underneath some tape, so you can't really see it, but yeah. All right, so now we got to remove the LVDS, or not the LVDS, the iSight camera or the webcam cable. So what I do is I just grab as close to the connector as I can, and then I just wiggle it as I slowly pull. You don't want to yank really hard, just wiggle it slowly, and it'll pop out just like that. All right, and then this cable for the speaker here, do I have to remove that as well? Not really. I'm going to leave that in. If you want to see how to remove this, it's just like this fan connector here. So I'll show this because this one's a little bit trickier since there's not much slack. You basically get underneath as close as you can to the connector, and then you pull up on the cable. So on this side, all right, and you kind of just twist to pull it up just like that. And make sure you're just prying on the cables because I've seen people rip the whole connector off the motherboard, okay? All right, there we go. Make sure you're not prying up the plastic part. Okay, so there we go. Now we will unroute the iSight camera here. Oh yeah, I do have to take this out. So we have to, unroute the iSight camera cable here because we are going to have to replace this cable as well as the wireless antennas here. So all these wireless antennas, we need to pop them out. So to do that, I just get my fingernail or pry tool at the tail and then just pop it just like that. Okay, same with all of them. Just pop the wireless antenna up like that at the tail, okay? Pop that wireless antenna up as well. This one's a little stuck. Come on. Oh, this one I need more slack. All right, so I'm going to pop out this antenna here, the longest one. Just like this, okay? And then now we can get these wires out. There is a little trick. You do have to kind of push the thing so it kind of goes out, and then you can take the connector out because there's they added some tape here to make it wider. Okay, so now we're going to take these wireless antennas out. Get this, there we go. Got that wireless antenna out, and there we go. Okay, so once you get all those wireless antennas out of the way, you can lift this whole thing out. Again, I left the speaker connected, so I am going to just move them to the side like this. Okay. All right, so all these cables are going to have to come out. We do need a T8 bit to remove the hinges. Okay, this hinge got completely destroyed, so I can't just remove the hinge here. So we are going to have to take these screws out. Okay. Remove these 3 screws from this side of the hinge. Normally what you want to do is you want to open the screen all the way and then have the screen hanging off the edge of your desk, so that way you can rotate the hinge to remove the screen. But since it's broken, I can't really do that. So there we go. We got the broken piece out. Okay, so that side is completely disengaged. And then on this side, they have this tape thing here. So you want to remove that. Okay, just take that out. Set that aside. We'll put it back later. Then remove the 3 screws here as well. All right. I've actually never seen a screen hinge this badly damaged. Oh, I think this side of the screw doesn't even hold well either. It was kind of coming out. All right, so now that we got that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the screen. Be careful because all the speakers and stuff are sliding around, but open the screen and then you can move this off. Okay, there we go. So these hinges on here are completely destroyed. I've never seen a screen this badly destroyed where the adhesive, even holding the metal inside, completely got ripped out. So we are just going to set this aside. This screen still works, but yeah, it doesn't have a way to hold itself up anymore. Okay, so now that we got all of that, you can see actually there's the microphone underneath here, so you do have to also lift this up if you're taking out the motherboard. I'm not going to take out the motherboard, so we are just going to go ahead with the rest of the repair. Okay, so let me flip this over and I'll show you how to put the screen back in place. Okay, so like I was saying, it's usually easier. You hang it off the desk like this. Get your replacement screen. Make sure the hinges are in the open position, so you don't want them folded down against the screen. Okay, just like that. And then you slot the screen down, the hinges into place. Okay, make sure you're not smashing the antenna wires and things like that. All right, so this can be a little tricky. You might have to rock it around. Okay, this side for some reason is having a hard time going back in. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Once you do that, I usually like to put back in the screws, at least one of them first. So I'm gonna put back in the middle upper screw. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so let me see if you can actually see this, but usually I will put in this middle screw first. Okay, because that one has the most leverage for when if I were to close the screen. Same thing, get the other screw. All right, line it up properly and then put that screw in. You can put all 3 just to be safe, but usually just those are okay. And then you want to slowly and carefully close the screen. So be careful not to drop the wireless antennas and stuff everywhere. Okay, so I'm slowly closing the screen. There we go. After you do that, you can rotate the thing back over. Okay, again, now that you have that done, I like to loosen the screw. Okay, we're going to loosen the screw here first, and then that way we can align the, oops, I'm going to clean that as well, but that way we can align the case so that it's flush all the way around. Okay, and then we will tighten this up. Alright, so this is just to hold it in place. We are going to add some thread locker to these screws, just like every other hinge screw repair that I do. So clean the dust off the back of the wireless card antenna. Okay. Alright, so I'm just cleaning up the wireless card assembly. We'll set that aside. Okay, so again, I'll grab some thread locker here. Alright, now we can put back all the hinge screws and add some thread locker to it. Okay. Make sure to keep the antennas out of the way. You don't want to tighten the screw on top and damage them. Okay. Tighten that all the way down. Grab the other screw. Okay. Same thing. Add the thread locker. Alright. Tighten that screw all the way down as well. Take back out the other screw that we didn't add the thread locker to. Add thread locker to that screw. Okay, tighten it up again. Alright, do the last 2 screws for the other hinge. Well, I guess all 3. Alright, I add this thread locker because most of the time what I find is when these screws come loose, that's when the hinge mechanism breaks, like how it broke on the other one. I've never seen one break that badly before, but yeah. Alright. Add some more thread locker. Alright. Get the last screw back out. And when you put the screen connector back in, make sure that the gold pins are facing up. You don't want to put that connector in upside down. Okay, we got all those screws back in. Close the thread locker. All right, we'll take this little pad and put it back in there. Just like that. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see. Hopefully I can actually show this. I'm running out of room. Oops, what's happening? Zoom in. Okay, so again, you want these gold pins facing upwards. And actually, we do have to put this metal bracket thingy back in first, okay? So make sure you put that in first. The way you know how to line it up is this little silver part. There's a little groove that it goes into, so make sure you line that up. Okay. Am I mixing stuff up? Let's see here. We got those 2. Okay. Like this. Alright, get the screw, line it up. This can be a little tricky. Make sure you have it lined up right. There we go. Alright, grab the other screw. Go, tighten it down. Make sure it's good. Make sure that's also good and tight. Alright, there we go. Now we just grab the connector, pull it back slightly, line it up, get it into the slot, and then just pull it in. Okay, once you got it pulled in, put the little latch back down, make sure it locks in place. It's not locking in right, so make sure it's pulled all the way. Alright. I don't know if they damaged this piece because it's not locking in properly. Let me make sure the connector is in all the way. Okay, I don't know, that's kind of strange. Let me see what they got with this connector. Let's grab this pad since the pad was missing. Okay. Let me replace the connector on this one because it's silver instead of gold, but hopefully it should be okay. Alright, we'll put this piece back on top. There we go. Alright, now we need to get the other side back in. Hopefully you can see this. I don't know what I'm showing on camera. There we go. Okay, so now we grab this stuff back, okay? And you want the speakers here, let's see, you want the speaker to go on top, the speaker holes, okay? And then this cable goes over that. This is a little tricky with all these wires because you do want this to go over all these other wires. And then you want this little piece to go on top. Okay. And then you want this metal bracket to go on top as well. That's falling down here. Okay. Make sure you get all the wires underneath that. There we go. Grab the screw. Okay, just like that. Tighten it, but only do it loosely. All right. Make sure you get this antenna wire lined up with that little metal bracket. All right, there we go. Again, make sure it's just loose. You don't want to tighten it all the way because we have to get all these other screws in as well to make sure everything is lined up. Okay, tighten that one, put it loosely as well. All right, and then put the last screw, oops, you can't see, in this corner here. All right, then you can go ahead and tighten down all the screws. All right, just like that, and then tighten down the two up here as well. So, okay, just like that. If you want, you can hold this antenna wire so it doesn't rotate too much, the metal bracket. Okay, so now we just put all the antennas back in and the webcam eyesight camera cable. Okay, so the longest one goes to the outside track here. Okay, just like that. Line it up, make sure that the connector is lined up, and then just push it down, just like that. All right, then repeat with all the other connectors. We'll go in order of the longest to the shortest because the longest one will tuck into the back of these little notches here. Okay. That connector, line it up, push it in place. All right, get the other connector here, line it up, push that in place. Last one, line it up. Okay, push that connector down as well. There we go. Now we got all those connectors. Again, this wire, you kind of want to push some slack back here, okay, because there's a thicker piece, so you want to put the thinner side, and then after that you can pull the rest of the wire down. Okay, now we just zoom back out. Okay, now we have to guide this wire along the speaker and the wireless antenna board. Okay, just like this, guide it through. All right, put it through those routed slots. Okay, then you can plug the connector in down here. So you want the gold pins facing up, if I remember correctly. Oh, oops, I was putting it upside down. So both sides actually have gold pins, but this side has like the much bigger gold pins. Let me see if I can actually show that. So here you can see this side has much bigger gold pins. This side has thinner gold pins. So you want the bigger gold pins facing up. Okay, slide the connector in just like that. Once you got it in place, you can take your screwdriver and then push the wings. Don't put the thing too far because you don't want to scratch the board, but you just want to barely get the wings and push the connector in place. All right, now that you got that in place, you can get the wires to follow along these routed slots here. Okay, just like that, push it all in place. Okay, then we can reconnect this wireless antenna cable. Make sure it's lined up properly and push it straight down. Okay, there we go. And now we need to replace the battery. So we got a replacement battery. Okay, let's take the battery out. Okay. A lot of times the battery will have this plasticky stuff on it. Oops, let's zoom back out. Okay, so you want to peel off this clear plasticky stuff. You don't need that on there. Same thing with the one on top. Okay, just peel that off. Set that aside. Alright, so the battery, you put the bottom inside first. Then you let that go down. Alright, again, grab your tri-wing screwdriver. If you buy like a new third-party battery, then it should come with the screwdriver for that. Okay. Alright, we'll put back the longer screw on this side. Just like that. I don't know how much charge this battery came with. A lot of times they kind of have it a little bit low, so we might have to charge it up before we can actually turn on the computer. Alright, and then this connector, just make sure to roll it over. You don't want to try and force it in when it's at this weird angle. You want to roll it over so that it's flat. And then like that, and then just push it down. Okay, here we go. So this model is kind of nice because we can check the battery capacity. So let's put this cover back on. They are missing a whole bunch of screws. Let's zoom back out. Oops, not that far. All right. Okay, so let's put these screws back in. They only had 3, so we'll take the longer screws. I'll try and spread the screws out so it holds better. So I'll put one here. Uh-oh, somebody's calling me. I'll call them back. I'm almost done. All right, so put those screws all in. And then we will take the last screw and put it down in this corner since it's missing the other ones. Okay, just like that. There we go. So now let's see the battery capacity here on this side. Okay, it's actually almost full. I don't know if you can even see the green dots on this, but it should be good. Let's power it on. Okay, the screen is coming up. It looks like it's good to go. Alright, so hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe because that'll help others find this video. It'll also help me. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.